WEFM, the new fresh sound. WEFM, the new fresh sound.
Rise and shine. Let's get ready to take on the day. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
Welcome back to Activated Mornings. This morning, before we begin, Flow is giving away over $50,000 in cash and prizes. Every week, you can win your share of $1,000 cash every week. Home surround system, laptops, tablets, smartphones, Bluetooth speakers, and more. Plus, the grand prize winner of $10,000 Visa Cash card. Just top up $10 or more, sign up for any new service from Flow, pay bills in full, or switch to Flow, and you too can win more. So, welcome back to Activated Mornings. This morning, the time is 8:07, soon to be 8:08 here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And this morning, we are talking funeral plots or cemetery plots. Now, what was it? I think it was last week, Release and I were discussing whether or not it is taboo to talk about death and funeral preparation. And then comes Minister of, what ministry is this? Urban Development, Benava Brown. And she disclosed on issue at hand that suitable lands for use here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is declining. The story is on 99wefm.com, and it says Minister of Urban Development Benava Brown, during a recent appearance of WEFM'S Issue-a-thon, said that there are several activities being planned to address issues affecting cemeteries. She said there's also a shortage of suitable lands for cemeteries, and the expansion is a bit of a challenge. We also have the issues relating to climate change. Climate change is really affecting the cemeteries. We have some activities planned to try and address the issues regarding cemeteries. Minister Brown, during her appearance on the Issue-a-thon program, also disclosed that 25% of 45 cemeteries being managed by Urban Development Ministry here are either at capacity or nearing capacity. But my question this morning is, Christal, isn't that something that we should have been preparing for?
Death.
Because eventually, the population is going to die. And at some point, we're going to have to plan for where we're going to put these bodies or move away from traditional burials. I was watching a movie on Netflix, I think it is The Kitchen, where what they did was they would cremate the bodies and embed the ashes in the soil and have it as a plant. So you can replant your relatives and you visit them as a tree or something similar. But thinking about it, with this problem that we have here, would that be such a bad thing?
Going and visiting my XYZ, talking to a tree. I don't even know. I don't even know how I feel. Is that the thing with the pods?
No, they want any pods.
Oh, it's
They want any
cremation.
pods.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
it's cremation. They want
I
any pods.
saw this other one. Right. That was one. I saw this video one time. A similar project. It's actually a business in the States
Mhm.
where they turn the body into manure and they give the family to manure their plants at home. It's an awkward conversation to have.
Yeah, but it's a necessary one.
Necessary when the time comes. But I've always wondered, like, what's gonna happen when this cemetery is full? Where are people going to go? Because I mean, after a certain time, they're just gonna take up all the space. You're gonna have more space for the dead than for the living.
And then consider family plots. The person's
Consider-
already paid for certain spaces in cemeteries, especially Kingston Cemetery. I'm
Yeah, there are a
pretty
couple
sure
family
Kingston.
spots.
Pretty sure Kingston is full. There's Lowmans. I'm pretty sure Lowmans is full. I don't think Kittles is full, but I do wonder if they have begun burying people on top of people. But that's disrespectful.
But then at a certain point, it might become necessary. But like, how do you do that?
Exactly.
After how long is that done as well? 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. There are some people who may not want that to happen because they're gonna be around or they're hoping to be around, so they want to be able to visit the final resting place of their deceased relatives. I've always wondered though, in terms of space, why do we bury lying down?
Now you think you should just be faced up and put the coffin in,
Would that be
like
no?
more
That would be
vertical instead.
yeah. So that horizontal. Why do we bury horizontal in terms of like spacing?
Wouldn't that take up the same space as a tree would?
No, the tree roots might gone all over the place.
And like all thinking all things in one, that would have some added benefit when you consider climate change, because ain't nobody going to allow governments or businessmen to cut down those trees that represent their relatives in order to make way for buildings and structures. So then
That might take up more space.
the trees,
Trees.
but then it also helps the environment.
Yeah, but you could only plant so many trees within a specific space. The way we do it now takes up less space than a tree. I think it's like maybe something sentimental for a specific family and they have like a plot of land. Let me do XYZ. I see some folks were suggesting cremation, cremating your loved ones instead of like burying them. That's a possibility as well. Another option to resolve or to avoid the ultimate problem is maybe we need a new cemetery. A new cemeteries. How many do we have? Like 45?
I think that's what its story says.
45 cemeteries. 25% are close to full capacity. How do you feel about cremation? Cremation.
I don't know. I don't give a lot of thought to that. But I don't know. I feel like it kind of has the same. I feel like going to the cemetery is more about tradition than anything else. But if this person means so much to me, I get to take them with me, or I get to have them like right within my house or within my reach. I don't know. I don't see a problem with it. But then I myself don't give a lot of thought to death.
I don't know how I feel about cremation personally and like for relatives. If a relative suggests pre-death that okay, cremate me whenever I pass, then maybe fine. But I don't know if I'm like I will opt for okay, you should cremate me when I pass away. Save yourself some time and money and whatever. You can do whatever you want with the ashes. Sprinkle them somewhere, throw them in the sea, bury them, whatever, put them in the house or whatever. But I don't know. I don't know. I find because I think I'm so accustomed to what we do culturally, we bury our dead.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, to have that, was it urn with an individual's remains in it? Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Christal and Harry.
Good
Morning,
morning.
welcome.
Yes, I'm calling from New York. I'm listening to your program.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in New York here, how we do it here. My uncle, they bought a spot over Canarsie. So 3 persons can bury in that exact hole.
Ah.
The same with my elder sister. So the first one, I don't remember the depth. But the second one had to be on top of that, and then the third one on top of that. That's how they do family. We buy this spot. So that's how they do it up here. But I don't know. I went to Grenada and then see a couple, what you call them, tomb. in people's yard. I think my friend from Jamaica tell me they also do it in Jamaica. So I don't know. Maybe these could be solution in St. Vincent.
In your yard.
Yeah, but my mom, she did not bury. We take her to a place out in Long Island named Pine Lawn. It's like a recreational park, and they have a big thing, they call it a mausoleum. So you push the coffin like in a pocket. So you can go there and picnic, and you look at the names of the people, one over the other. It's like a big, I don't know what to call it, but like a big wall, and all the names of the people is in there. So what you do when you go, you push it in a pocket, and then they close the pocket.
You push
And then
the
can put
you push the
stone
body.
over. Yes, push the casket inside a pocket, like a big concrete stick, like a building.
What you say? You don't know what it's called. I find it to be rather interesting.
It's a mausoleum,
Mausoleum.
something like that. It's named. Yes, but you don't bury the body. You push.
Oh,
you push
I
the
know
casket.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. The structure.
And they call it a recreational park.
It's
so you
a
could go in
it's
that
a
park and
house
picnic,
basically,
and
but it's a
while you're
structure,
looking at
and
Hold on.
your family. Yes.
Oh, okay. All
and you
right.
Called
slide
Pine
it
Lawn
into a wall
Memorial Park.
basically instead of burying it.
Yes.
But
Instead
that
of burying.
what you said happened in Kanasi, that's interesting. Where the plot, instead of
Yes,
it
that's
go
how my
being
uncle
side to side, it's
and my
on top of each
sister,
other.
because we buy this spot.
Mm-hmm.
Even my neighbor, the from Richland Park, his wife died, and they buy that spot. So if he die, there's two other spots inside that hole for him and probably his son.
Hmm.
Well, that's not a
So
bad
that's how we
idea.
bury up here. Yeah, you don't dig single holes. Family bury 3 families buried in the same hole.
Yeah, we might
Maybe
have
that's
to
somebody.
adapt something similar to that.
You know, sometimes after a while,
Yes.
they're very
Because I see they have a new
top.
cemetery in Layu. It's a lot of land, but the way how people dying. We have about 6 shooting in Layu recently. You hear people dying. That everything kind of full of soon.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to find some solution.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad solution at
All right,
all.
I listen to you guys.
All
I listen
right.
to you
Yeah,
guys
thanks for
every
your
morning.
contribution. I don't think that's a
Yeah,
bad.
this is the radio station I like to listen to. That the hot who is overheated.
Oh Lord. All right. Thank you so much for your
Yes.
contribution. Yes. Have a good one. Oh,
Yeah, but
Mausoleum.
most of them is the name.
That is rather interesting.
Mm-hmm. But then,
Nope. Ooh, no.
How you going to Guy Foxy?
You mean Guy Fawkes?
This Guy
You dance
Foxy.
outside? You go outside?
Well, you never remember people go and light candles on the grave and all.
You put the candle in the hand.
Hmm.
He said it's an area where you can go and picnic, right? So
I don't see myself picnicking in a cemetery though.
it's not cemetery, it's a mausoleum. It's different.
Same thing though.
No, it's not.
It's
not the same thing.
Same thing. What's a cemetery?
One like what we have outside there, down the road.
Down the road. Eh?
Up the road. Sorry, up the road. Lomans.
Lomans. Oh.
Up the road.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. I don't want to talk about this. But it'll become a problem at some point in time.
Well, it sounds like it's already becoming a problem.
Well, no, so I mean, we're just at 25% of the cemeteries, but you have to like put some action in now before it gets too late where you have to be like scrambling to put some things in place. So it's like, yeah, now is the time to talk and put some things in place about it. Maybe like what he suggested, I kind of like it. You have a spot and you have like several that spot can fit several people.
But I don't know. I am not opposed to the trees.
You can put it in your backyard.
Yeah, you could put it in your backyard, yes. Yes, you could put it in your backyard.
Yeah. Boy, you know what's fascinating to me? To live is a cost and to die is another cost. cost.
Yep. Everything costs money.
Everything is money.
Every single thing costs
The root of
money.
all evil.
The number to call is 457-9997. Also, the number to WhatsApp 457-9997. And someone on the live says that what the guy was just speaking about, they have it in St. Thomas.
Yeah. So
Mausoleum, I knew I had it in my mind, and I was like, I don't want to be wrong on it.
listen, when in doubt, quick Google.
Right?
Quick Google. I'm like, give me a second there. Let me just double check this thing here. Not everyone believes in cremation and don't think Christians do. Christians, they believe in cremation. I'm not sure.
But like I told you, Lisa, what about the way the Vikings did it, where they just drift your body out to sea and they light it on fire and just you're one with nature now. Came from nature and you return to nature. What's this?
Look at this one here. This is an option. Algodanza memorial diamonds, also known as ash diamonds, are grown from the cremation ashes or hair of a human. Pure carbon is first extracted from the cremated remains, then using special HPHT high pressure, high temperature presses and Swiss precision, your loved ones turn into a diamond. Diamonds are forever. But that's interesting because diamonds take years to form. I wonder how much this costs. This must be really expensive to do. Could you imagine wearing your maybe like a sibling or your loved one on your finger? It's a diamond.
Then it gets a bit confusing. Or do you cut up the diamond and distribute it to different people in your family? What if you have many siblings? And what if you die?
Put in a will. Put in a will.
Everything is tricky after a while, but it would definitely help with the space problem.
Oh yeah, that's like little to no space. A little that. Could you imagine like being to just like a little 14 millimeter round thing? Wow. Somebody says not necessarily one can have a separate spot that is to bury their loved ones. That's a mausoleum for family members. Okay.
You know what I want? I want a crypt.
So mausoleum.
I want a crypt.
What is a crypt? What?
The structure. I want my body to be on display. I want it to be an adventure when you come to visit me at the cemetery.
Excuse me?
Let's continue.
No. No.
Let's continue. Are there any more comments from the
WhatsApp
party live?
No. Good morning. It's called mausoleum.
Same thing, mausoleum.
Mausoleum. We're learning something new today.
You learning something new today.
Not me alone. When I say we are speaking for those who didn't know.
I feel like everybody knew. I feel like interviewed with you this morning. But
let me suck my teeth.
Remember, one of the other things she said is issue that they're facing is climate change. So if it is that there's a problem with the soil holding, would a structure on top of that soil help?
Put a back in wall. Put a back in wall. A couple bodies were washed away at a time on the windward side of the island.
I remember that.
I think probably more than one cemeteries that happened to. But the end result was on the other side of the bank. If you looked over, you were able to see like bones and stuff. Oh, it was horrible. Horrible. Because there are certain areas where some of these cemeteries are actually on banks. So a little heavy rain and then bye straight to the sea. That's really sad. Having to rebury somebody.
Yeah, but if we don't have any more calls or comments.
Okay, people.
Oh wow!
Burying someone in your backyard would actually devalue the property. Didn't think about that.
I didn't think about that either.
But if it's like a family
Yeah, but then if we're doing trees,
Nah.
but if we're doing trees,
Nah. You gotta tell me what that tree for. Now I go and ask everybody if I'm gonna buy a parcel land, what that tree for? Is that somebody there? Just make sure it doesn't have any sentimental value for you. Like anybody burying it?
yeah, but
Make
if
sure
I
we
move and
ask
I
the
walk
people.
away with my tree,
Suppose, right?
suppose I had
Suppose.
no nose.
Suppose.
You had no nose.
I'm not Voldemort. Watch yourself. Suppose, right? You bury your family in your yard, but your house is mortgaged, and you lose the property because at some point finances become like really terrible for you, and you're not able to pay for that property. So the bank repossesses the property and becomes the bank's because essentially it's the bank owned. How will they deal with something like that? And you have to like evict the property because
I guess they'll ask you to dig it up. I don't know.
you see, don't do it. Maybe they maybe in those cases in those countries they have certain criteria.
Yeah, I do think
Can't have no lien
maybe.
on the house and
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can't
yeah.
lien it.
Have to be,
Can't
have
leave
to
them
be, have to be.
behind. I'm like,
But then
wow.
I wonder if there's anything in place for if for natural causes, like how sometimes bodies are family member or your loved one.
Pray. You gotta pray and accept. What you gonna do?
Hmm.
What will you do? Pray
You
and
have any
accept.
more comments on the
Nah, I
WhatsApp?
don't want to talk about this. How you see where oh I think there was one more. Also in the Philippines, they allow to put their loved ones in the front yard. Excuse me. How? You know what is very awkward? It's just okay, not awkward. It's fascinating to me how different people in different parts of the world have different cultures concerning the dead and like different things, right? So I saw in this, I don't remember the country, but in this within this culture, if a part of your body is amputated, they actually preserve it. And in the video that I was looking at, the person, the woman, she lost her leg, but she had it wrapped up, properly preserved. Like she preserved it over slow burning, low burning fire. She had it wrapped up in like cloth and put away. So whenever she felt like reconnecting with her leg, she'll just go in the bedroom and take it out and sit next to it. Different strokes for different folks, boy. Anyways, that's how we are as people. Gonna move on to another topic.
Yeah, I hope we're able to sort out this before
Cremation.
before anything goes further and the situation gets worse. But it sounds like the minister and the ministry is working on it. So I do wish them success. We're gonna pay some bills and we'll be right back with activated mornings this morning.
Sparrows, rum of pure sophistication. Sparrows, rum, aged perfection. Skillfully crafted and forged with time in oak barrels. A rum so divine. Discover authentic Caribbean rum. Sparrows, full-bodied rum.
National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
WEFM, the new fresh sound.
Rise and shine. Let's get ready to take on the day. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
And we are back with Activated Mornings this morning here in St. Vincent and Grenadines. The time is now 8:32, soon to be 8:33, and we're talking COVID variants. So sometime last week, or was it this week? It was last week.
Yeah.
The Omicron was discovered here in St. Vincent and Grenadines, but
I think it's Omni. Omni or Omni?
Omicron, sorry. Omicron was discovered here, the COVID-19 variant. So there's a story on One News St. Vincent that reads, St. Vincent and Grenadines has recorded its first case of the highly transmittable JN.1 Omicron COVID-19 variant. The JN.1 is not a new virus. It is a variant of the SARS-CoV-2 virus, the SARS-CoV-2 virus that has been mutating. Health authorities reported the first confirmed case of the variant here on Friday, January 26, a few days after St. Lucia confirmed its first case of the variant. During an interview aired on the state-owned National Broadcasting Corporation, NBC Radio, Medical Officer of Health in the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment, Dr. Roger Duncan, said the variant was recently confirmed from samples sent to the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARPA. Recently, as early as a week ago, I think, we had a confirmation on the JN1 case in a sample that we sent to CARPA for sequencing, said Dr. Duncan. Dr. Duncan reminded people of the public health measures the ministry had been promoting since the start of the pandemic in 2020. If you're sick, stay at home, don't go to work, don't ride the bus, don't go to the supermarket, don't go to church. And yes, you get the gist. If your children are sick, please try to keep them home. I know it's difficult for some people, but we have to figure out how we're going to keep them home. And this is important because you don't want them spreading the virus. My question is, do Vincentians care anymore?
Yeah, no.
Because this was Saturday, and I saw this story going about for a while, but Saturday was also Juve in January. And Juve in January was...
not just that event, there were several events, so I think it's fair to like pinpoint that big one there.
Well, I'm not picking on Juve in January. I just say like Juve in January is a more intimate event, and they had a lot of people on a playing field. So the question is, do people care?
Do people know?
I feel like people know.
Do people know that we have recorded this new variant in St. Vincent and Grenadines?
I feel like people know.
How many people know?
Because this was in the news cycle.
That don't mean nothing. That doesn't mean anything.
It does. People are talking about it, but do people care? As soon as people realize that you could live with COVID, get over COVID, move on with your life, I just feel like people stop caring.
People, I don't think people cared. There are some folks who did not care before it got like really serious. COVID-19, that is. Even during, there's some people who just didn't care either. Case in point, those who left quarantine, those who were not wearing masks, those who were not adhering to the rules. Although some people who did that, they did care, but they just didn't like believe. So they cared about their health, but they didn't believe that some of the measures that were put in place would actually help. We continue to put ourselves in positions in small, intimate, intimate spaces, going to a restaurant and lining up to get service, going to school, going to work, going to various entertainment spots, villagers to put to tour going after this. Would the Ministry of Health say, okay, you know what? Let us try to market and promote as much as possible. That's the only thing that we're going to do, and leave it up to leave it up to Vincentians to do what is the best thing. As Dr. Duncan said, if you're ill, you stay at home. Don't go to school, don't go to church, don't go to here, then everywhere. Wear your mask, da da da. Isolate yourself, quarantine, the full works. We've been through this before. Just like do it again.
Do we have a zero COVID policy or a living with COVID policy?
The entire world has a living with COVID policy. Well, I don't even want to call it a policy, but
That's
we got to the
interesting.
point. We got
You
to
said
the point.
entire world. We don't know if that's true.
Okay, let me take that back.
Maybe most of the world.
What country at this point is investing in ensuring that their population is at zero COVID?
I don't have the answer to that. But I can't say all of the world is doing that, because I remember persons thought all of the world was doing that when Taiwan was doing that. We don't know what is the policy in Vatican City
What does the WHO say about COVID-19?
right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. You want to know
Coming
why I don't
to the
know?
end.
Because I don't care.
Oh, you're one of the persons who doesn't care about COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Coming to the end of the COVID-19 pandemic, we learned that it's just something that you have to live with. You just have to learn to live with it and do what is necessary. If you think that putting on a mask is going to help you, then so be it. But it's not at a level where it is very serious anymore. So to each his own at the end of the day, to each his own. That's where we're at. I can't afford to go back into another space of a pandemic. Cannot. Let me get some responses on the live.
So while you're checking that, some of the countries that implemented the zero COVID strategy were Australia, Bhutan, Atlantic and North Canada, China, Hong Kong, Macau, Malaysia, Montserrat, New Zealand, Thailand, Taiwan, South Korea, Vietnam, etc.
What did they say to that article?
I didn't say no, I said previously.
Oh,
that had implemented that before.
oh, had implemented.
Yeah.
How did you get to zero COVID?
Taiwan was doing it.
Not a soul.
And no one in Taiwan had COVID for months. Taiwan was doing it. Taiwan, Japan, Hong Kong, New Zealand. Mm-hmm.
At this point in time, I don't think that makes sense.
Maybe it doesn't make sense, but I just feel like people just desensitized to it. But I was telling somebody that I do feel like if you keep throwing numbers, it's going to alarm people, because every single time there's a cold front, people die. Every single time there's a heat wave, people die. So if you're saying that, okay, there's a new virus and no one knows anything about and people are dying, it's going to cause alarm. And that is what, in my opinion, happened during the first few months of COVID.
But they're facts, right? They're facts.
They are facts. But do you believe you're going to die when there's a cold front or there's a heat wave?
No, but I mean, the information, I don't think there's anything wrong with putting out the information.
I never said that. What
no,
I'm
you
saying
said people are going to be alarmed.
Yeah, people are going to be
like
alarmed.
something wrong.
No, people are going to be alarmed if they hear that people are dying from something that they know nothing about. But when you think about it, whenever something happens, a cold front, a heat wave, flu season, people die. But if you keep putting out the numbers and people are receiving the numbers, they're going to immediately believe that they're going to die until they have more information. And now people know that they can live with COVID. People stop caring, in my opinion, at least. Okay, so now there's COVID. Now what? But before, it used to be, oh my God, it's COVID. Let me put the necessary measures in place. Now people just going along with the regular life. It's there's Omicron in St. Vincent. Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that some people don't take it as seriously as it could be taken. Because we saw what happened during the initial stages, and we may not remember the total number of persons who died from or with, because that was another argument by itself. But like generally speaking, and I say we because I'm including myself, gotta take the health seriously.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Going back to the burial, that is how they buried Bob Marley, so you can go and see the dead at any time.
This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna pay some bills right now. We're gonna come back. We're gonna read comments, and we're gonna discuss everything that we were just speaking about in the last hour. So we'll be right back.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's a whole new world out there, reaching new customers and getting products faster. That's what it's all about. Ocean freight rates are skyrocketing, so don't pay more for slower service. It's time to switch to faster, more reliable air cargo service with SkyMax Cargo. Up to 3 flights weekly to and from the USA, Puerto Rico, and the Caribbean islands, providing excellent import, export, and e-commerce solutions to put you ahead of the competition. For special low rates on small packages and air cargo, contact SkyMax today. 784-456-5400. Local agents SwiftPack, Interprime Cargo. Call 784-456-5400 to book your shipments today.
Boy, so where you getting crashing on? Your brakes real good, boy.
Now brakes alone good enough. My tires good too.
Tires? Where you get them tires, boy?
Out by Caribbean Tire Plus, man. They out in Addersville. Can't miss it. Look for the orange container on them. Plenty parking space and open 7 days a week all thing, man. Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And on Sundays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Call them today. Caribbean Tire Plus, 784-432-4786 or email ctiresplus@gmail.com.
Shop at Lanes, where you come first. For value and quality you can trust. Lanes. For home hardware, fashion, and more. The best prices at every store. A warm Vinci welcome is waiting for you. At Lanes, your family store for value.
Gospel Power of Praise Promotions and Fidel Taylor Ministries presents Awake SVG, an evening of anointed, explosive praise and worship, featuring from St. Vincent, Pearl McMaster, Fenton Harry, Otoesian Evangelist Cheryl Brown, Nigel Joseph, Maxine Coombs, Alfonso Richards, and the KBC Worshippers, Ronnie Richardson, the band Blessed, and Reverend Fidel Taylor.
Praise on the mountain.
From the USA, Gus Lynch, Shamel Russell, and Gregory Olive. Get ready, St. Vincent, for Awake SVG. Experience it live at the Russell's Auditorium, Stony Grounds, Kingstown, on February the 4th, 2024. Get your limited early bird tickets for just $20. Regular price $25, and at the door you pay $30. Get your tickets at Century Insurance, Nightingale, Pulse, Phyllis at Singer, Be Connected Shop at Camden Park, and from churches throughout SVG. Proceeds in aid of the Rillen Hill Church of the Nazarene Restoration. There's also going to be lots of prizes and giveaways. Sponsored by Century Insurance, New Life Sound, and West Indian Development.
WEFM, the new fresh sound.
Activated Mornings on WeFM 99.9 is on now.
And we're back with Activated Mornings this morning. The time is now 8:46, soon to be 8:47 here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And if you're just joining us, we're talking Omicron and we're talking cemeteries.
Why would you look at that? A disease and then death. Eek.
Well, we're gonna read
Need
the
a drink
comments
after this.
that we got on WhatsApp and on the live. We're live on YouTube and Facebook. And the number to call is 457-9997. Also, the number to WhatsApp 457-9997.
All right, so let's take a call. They just
Good morning, caller. You're live.
Morning, my brother, and good morning, Sister Christal. How are you?
Good morning.
Again, look at your young people's talent. No, Mama Guy talk. And I thank you all guys for joining the struggle for the young people. We have Brother Icon on another station and, young lady. And this is what I'm proud about because I follow millions of stations across the world and I see young people able to express themselves. And I beg our young people, please, don't just leave it for Christal because she's on the radio. Join a discussion. Take a few minutes and just WhatsApp and express yourself because it's your future. We are not just American. You might say American and then you have this spill off. We are at a very dangerous JN1. This has taken over India, now affecting about 40 countries. I've kept abreast of giving the public the reality. Let me give you a little joke. The reality, we spoke about herd immunity and natural immunity. And do you know natural immunity now has become the king? Because this is what was said. But there's a very dangerous part about herd immunity and natural immunity. Even though natural immunity works at least 65, 70% more effective than vaccines, these new variants from coronavirus, SARS-2, because let me just say, not SARS-1 was different, it was natural, because we're now seeing evidence that it's not natural. The natural immunity is still immune evasive. It can be evaded. Not so with SARS-1, not so with most of the natural viruses. And so even if you have natural immunity, you still can be penetrated by the JN1. We had XBB 1.15. These are things that are going to give you cold fever because you don't even know them. And this is why it was important for the ministry. Do you know, if I could make this statement today, I got licks from all and sundry, that I said that these vaccines, they were rushed. All of the vaccines, in monovalent vaccines, they have banned them, lift the authorization. Because they make them, 1 shot, 2 shots, take 2 shots, everything will be okay. Just take 1 shot, will be okay. And then all of a sudden they said, no, well, they're not walking, take a third shot. And then now the horror stories of that is that when you take the third shot, you're literally overloading 30 microgram, 60, overloading your system. And that is why we're having so much difficulties now. I just heard, going back to Russell's, I'm not trying to kill a business. We have a JN1 that is the most infectious. These viruses are 800 times more infectious than the original strain. This JN1 is more infectious than the XBB 1.15. And now, nobody telling you anything about it. What? Honey, you're not the chief medical officer? But not just St. Vincent, all of the countries. So after these monovalent and these mRNA vaccines, then they discovered that they're not effective and dangerous. They ban them. And then they they make a new, bivalent BA4, BA5. Only tried on 8 mice. Everything I'm saying here can be substantiated in front of court. Only tried on 8 mice, but here they didn't work, so they banned them. And so Joe Biden said, we're going to another vaccine. So they brought an XBB 1.15 monovalent. And what has happened? Terror, horror. Basically all of this stuff coming from Yale, coming from the European, coming from the all of the institutions that did these studies, clear as crystal. They're totally ineffective. These vaccines are only tried on 10 mice. Where is our chief medical officer? All of those who made me got arrested in a barracks because I said these vaccines are rushed. How come nobody has then all of those moderators that used to be there jumping in, have me playing politics? Ask Dr. Murray, ask Dr. Thomas of how I call them in a very responsible way and ask them what is Hammy saying is what he said, how could it be?
Okay,
because
can you wrap up for me, please?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Finally, that in order for you to know what a vaccine, you have to do adverse event. So you have phase 1, phase 2, rat and mice and a few thousand parcels. They didn't do phase 3 for long term. So people were given a vaccine, even mandated. How come nobody has gone jail? And then a case inside of the courts when America ordered them to lift the cases because they know they've been lying. My sister, we're in trouble. I am calling for resignation today. All of you who've been fooling us with people, telling people that cause people to get stroke and heart attack and blood clot, it's that you need to resign to the main career you will to your NDP, including Dr. Friday.
Thank you, sir.
Has knowledge.
Thank you, sir. You're shouting.
God bless you all very much, right?
Thank you, bye-bye. Once you start shouting, thank you for your contribution. Let's skip over that one there. All right, so let's get down to some more responses on the live. Somebody said that is how they buried Bob Marley, so you can go and see the dead at any time. Yeah, interestingly, our trusty friend, Mr. Google or Miss Google. You think Google is a woman? Because they know everything? That's not sexist.
I have no comment to make on that. You
Woman
know what I
is not
can't get
everything.
used to?
Well,
Leprosy. It's so strange reading that we have leprosy. But
St. Lucia.
St. Lucia has registered new cases of leprosy since the start of this year, after recording 11 cases in 2023. The country's health officials have confirmed. In a message to mark World Leprosy Day on Sunday, there's a day for everything, boy. St. Lucia's Ministry of Health, Wellness, and Elderly Affairs said that leprosy is not an illness of the past. It still affects millions of persons around the world and scores of St. Lucians today. In 2023, the Ministry of Health, Wellness, and Elderly Affairs registered 11 new cases. We already said that. At the start of 2024, has already diagnosed new cases. This infection may be transmitted mainly through droplets from the nose, without indicating the number of cases diagnosed so far this year, the ministry said. I still can't wrap my mind around us having leprosy in 2020. Why are you saying us? Lucians having leprosy in 2024.
I think is 11 alarming or is it just me? Is 11 alarming or is just me? But they've recorded a couple cases. But something about it is the way that it spread. They say if you have prolonged exposure, then you're more likely to contract it. But if you are a caretaker for a family member, if they can give you medication, that could reduce your chances of contracting leprosy. So it's not like be all end all once you have somebody to take care of, or if you contract it. And then they talked about, I think the same story talked about discrimination as well against people who are ill because you don't want to sit next to.
So you could no longer scream unclean?
I don't know about that part there. I mean, from the biblical times? I don't know. I just hope that it's put under control on whosoever is in the care of somebody else for their sake, because nobody wants to get sick, that they do whatever is necessary to protect themselves and protect it from spreading. All right, the more you know, the better for you.
I wonder if we still have sackcloth. Those thoughts that I think about sometimes. I don't know. Leprosy is such a strange thing to hear that we still have. Leprosy.
Yeah, I mean, they talked about Cain and Abel and murder, and we still have murder.
Yeah,
And
murder isn't the
lying.
same as leprosy.
Things that been about
Usually-
donkey years ago, they're still about now.
Yeah, but we usually have a control on viruses, and killing is something completely different.
Well, there's certain level of control on the viruses. A certain level, just like homicides and stealing, a certain level of control, because you could influence, right?
If in 500,000 years we still had a common cold, I will be shocked.
We will still have the common cold. We won't be around. We might be trees. That was a good one.
That was actually a good one.
Thank you.
Mental high five. But well, I don't know. Some of these, anyways.
Protect yourself. And you know what's still around? HIV and AIDS.
Mhm.
But look at us. When I say us, I mean Vincentians. I don't mean like I mean clear not black. But you know what I'm talking about. running around recklessly, stark naked as we born.
Not washing your hands.
Not washing our hands, not putting on contraceptives, not protecting ourselves because, like, ooh, when it's like that, it's like it feels bad. I'm like, ugh, it's disgustable, man. It's disgustable. Protect yourselves. You cannot tell who has a disease just by looking at them these days because there are folks who are just taking their medicine, what's not, and there are folks who don't even know. Get yourself tested. All right, check yourself before you wreck yourself. And just in case, just wrap it up. All right, just wrap it up. And the promiscuity, ugh, it's not a thing for me. Some people do it, but you do understand that it increases your risk of certain things, right? One, walking around with a bunch of soul ties. Two, diseases. Three, drama, voice notes, videos. Why people put themselves through them kind of things? But you know what could happen, but you still put yourself through them kind of things. Why? If you know certain things are in place, like why? Why walk into fire and cry when you get burnt?
With
I say, is the time? It's now 9 o'clock. Oh
no, is the detection of Omicron alarming?
I don't think so, because I mean, inevitable. It's not alarming to me because working in the media, you talk about it so often. After a while, you get accustomed to it. So, like at this point, it's not. It's not. Whatever's out there is inevitable. Inevitably, it will come here. And if it doesn't, then yeah, kudos. Either it's not detected or it really didn't come.
Yeah, just protect yourselves in any way, shape, or form. Wash your hands, wear a mask if necessary. Because outside of that, there are a lot of people still with this nasty flu that has been going around, and who knows? Maybe it's not a flu,
And
maybe
that
it's
cough.
COVID, maybe it's Omicron, maybe it's a lot of different things.
They're still testing for COVID though.
Mm.
People are still up to last year. I can confirm people still have COVID. People still contracting COVID, and they're still isolating folks. When you get to the healthcare facilities, you're still being isolated.
Okay.
Yeah. So nothing. I don't think anything from my observation, my personal observation, nothing has changed. Maybe the alarm from persons because we're now accustomed to it. We're now accustomed to the effects and what's not, and we know better how to protect ourselves. But from a healthcare perspective, from observation, nothing has changed.
All right. Now
Well,
we're going to have
significantly, that
our
is.
bank rates followed by nostalgia, and at 9:20, I want you guys to come back for activated mornings.
Come
I
back?
have a question.
They ain't going anywhere.
Oh yeah, commercial breaks and stuff.
No, but they're gonna stay here for the break.
Yeah, I don't mean that. I know what I mean. But anyway.
You have to say what you mean, man.
Okay then.
Jeez.
Be sure to be present and marking register at 9:20. I have a question to ask Christal, and I have a question to
I'm
ask
answering your question.
Reliezer. If Reliezer is going to be
Releases not coming
studio.
inside, Nina. Leave releases alone. It is 9 o'clock, right?
We have a boxing match.
Road relay for GHS starts right now. I so ashamed to say the closest thing I could have get to show this color here. You see the yellow in between it was my Independence t-shirt. But big up to Moffat one time. I say we second with standard points. Gotta win today, girls. Bye. Okay, we could go to the break now.
The time is now 9:01 in Cemeteries and the Grenadines. It's time for ECCB current